Welcome to the Aura Reading Podcast, where I do aura readings and you get the guidance and insights. If you've discovered this episode, then the messages it contains are meant for you, whether this reading was done on your aura or not. And if you'd like to get an aura reading featured on my podcast, make sure to register for my waitlist by filling out the form using the link below, or if I am currently open for readings, you will find that below too. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram for juicy content and all things aura at Aura Reading Podcast. On today's episode, we will be reading the aura of Jessica. Now, when I open your reading, Jessica, I see the colors hot pink, orange, and yellow. These are the main colors of your aura, and they contain a message from your higher self as well. So I'm going to start by opening the hot pink because it's the one that is bigger and occupies more space within your energy. So when I open this image, I see you counting stones like they are very precious, but they are not precious stones. They're just regular stones, and they're tiny, and you have them in your hand. You're counting each one of them because you're trying to figure out if you are building your wealth, and you're trying to figure out if progress has been made. But the guidance that I get here is your focus right now shouldn't be in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality. It's almost as if I look at this image and I get the sensation that you are building wealth through things that are not making you so wealthy. Let me try and explain this a little bit better. Sometimes it's hard. The sensation I get is the things you're feeling that you're having right now or that you're building right now, you see them as precious, but there are even more precious things out there for you. And when you focus on just building what you have, I feel like you're missing out on all the other opportunities for growth and wealth that are out there for you. Because it's like the real gemstones are around you, but you're just looking and focused on these tiny rocks that are not going to help you in becoming the precious stones that you wish them to be. Now, when I look around you, I see a lot of gemstones. And so if you were to just take the focus out of the ones that you have in your hand and figuring out if they're growing or not, and if you were to just look around, you would find so many more that they are just right there. You could just grab them and hold them and keep them with you. Okay, so there's a lot of opportunities I feel around you for growth, abundance, wealth, but all you gotta do is shift your focus from what you have towards what is around me. You need to start asking yourself what is around you that is precious and what is around you that you would like to add to your life or amplify in your life. But these feel like small things and big things too, but mostly the small things in life that make you feel good, make you feel like you are blessed. Okay, let me just cleanse all of this, and we're moving on to the orange. Now when I open the orange, I feel bursts of emotion, and the burst is really intense, but then it tunes down really fast too. So the sensation that I have is that you're a bit on this emotional roller coaster, or you have been recently, and you're trying to find a way to stabilize that because that's where you feel most comfortable. Now there's a reason as to why you are going through these bursts of emotion. That reason is you don't feel comfortable with them. So you got to learn how to let them flow through you instead of just feeling like they are yours and that you have to hold this emotion or wait for it to just go away. The sensation I have is it's like when this emotion comes up, you kind of isolate a bit and just wait for it to go away. But the guidance here is I need to learn to sit with it and just let it be without trying to run away from it, without trying to hide it, without trying to understand it. It's just a matter of recognizing I'm feeling these emotions right now, so I'm just gonna sit with them no matter how uncomfortable I am. They are showing up right here, right now, so I'm gonna sit with them right here, right now. I'm gonna feel them through, and I'm gonna let them flow through me without identifying with them. Okay, so I feel the moment you start to release the attachment or the resistance toward these bursts of emotions that are coming through, you're going to return to your natural state where your emotions are a lot more balanced, and that is your comfort zone. Let's put it like that. Now, I do feel there's a connection here between you counting the little stones and the bursts of emotion, but let's just go first to the yellow and see if there's additional information in there that can help us make this connection. So when I open the yellow, I see you sunbathing. I have the sensation like you're craving warmth and you're craving feeling the sun on your skin, and it comes back to a very physical message. So I feel this is very related to your physical body and the needs of the physical body. I'm not sure how the weather is over there, but try to keep warm or try to catch some sun. There's a lot of mental activity here, but I feel that when you're warm or when you catch some sun, this mental activity drastically slows down and it makes you feel a lot more balanced. I feel it makes you release attachment and it allows you to just be in the present moment without focusing too much ahead or thinking about the past or the things that you still have to do. It brings you to the here and now and it grounds you. And I feel this is really important for you right now. We're going to see why moving forward with your reading. I can't quite access that yet, but I do have the sensation this is going to be really helpful for whatever step of your journey you are starting right now. So let's go back to figuring out the connection here between all of these steps. Now, I just feel like counting the little stones that you have in your hand, that activates a lot of the mental activity for you because you have to process things mentally. You have to figure out how much do I have around this date and how much do I have right now and subtract one from the other and understand how much the growth was. So there's just a lot of logical, analytic, analyzing type of energy in your mind at this moment. But when you have too much energy around the mind, that means there's another aspect of you that is not receiving that chunk of energy that should be receiving, and that I feel is your emotional space. So basically, when your mind is overly active, your emotions are not getting the proper right amount of energy for you, and that makes you feel out of balance. So when it's almost like your mind is stealing some of the energy from your emotions, and so that's why sometimes you feel almost like you don't have any emotion, you're completely neutral, and then sometimes your mind stops and then there's just this burst of emotion that comes through, and that's just because the mind is in and out, in and out. So if you're able to stabilize the mind, then the emotions will stabilize on their own. And as we've seen, the way to stabilize your mind right now, it seems like it's through the physical warmth. Okay. So let's clear out all of this and let's move forward with your reading. I see a soul contract here for you. I can't quite tell exactly who the person in the soul contract is, but I will describe this person to you, and so you might be able to identify who they are. This feels like a boy, a young boy, or it might be a young lady that has a lot of masculine energy too. Okay, this feels like someone who is talking a lot to themselves. Might even be just internally, not really vocalizing it, but it's somebody who likes to spend time in their little world with themselves, but But when they come out of their little world and they want to interact, they are intense, they are loud, they make themselves be heard. Whatever they're saying, they make themselves be heard. This person, I feel, is going through a process of going internally, asking questions about things that are bugging her or him. And then when she reaches some sort of conclusion, or when they reach some sort of conclusion, then sometimes it's still a question, but then they come out of their shell and they want to vocalize it or ask it or explore the world. But I feel the way it comes out is it's not always nice. I feel a bit of a defensive energy in this person. So when this person talks, it's almost like they're trying to defend themselves all the time. So it could be a little I wouldn't say aggressive, but you know when someone is talking to you and they just come very strongly at you even though you haven't said anything. So this person is definitely dealing internally with the need to feel safe. I feel they don't feel safe. They feel controlled and attacked a lot, and that just reinforces their behavior to continue being the same. So if you're able to identify this person in your life, I feel this person needs some understanding. This person needs to know that even if they're coming across strongly, that you are not responding or reacting from that same space, so that they don't feel attacked, and therefore they start over time feeling like they are in a safe environment with you. And if they are safe in their environment with you, then there's no need to keep attacking or coming out so strongly in that sense. So whatever things you can do to help this person feel safe, it could be really helpful, okay? Not just for this other person, but for your relationship with this person as well. Because I feel the way that this person comes out when they're talking, it bothers you and you wish it were different, and it triggers you. And it's almost like I feel a little bit of desperation in your energy in terms of, how do I continue to deal with this? What do I do with this? How do I change this? And this is how you do it. Okay, so lots of love, lots of reinforcing positive feelings of safety, even when you are triggered, even when you don't naturally reach for those feelings. Because the sensation I have is that this person is dealing with a lot of insecurity, a lot of feelings of not being understood, and therefore having to speak louder so that you hear them, so that you understand them. There's a lot of insecurity that this person feels like whatever she does or she or he says, I'm not quite sure here, there will be consequences, or you will reprehend them, or you will tell them to speak differently or do differently. And I understand that you might be trying to help, but through the eyes of somebody who's already at a point of, I don't feel safe, and I know that everything I will say won't be correct or won't be said in the right way. It just reinforces those thoughts, and it creates a cycle that doesn't allow them to get out of it. Okay, so let me just give a cleanse here on this contract. I'm still getting some messages here around your physical body, so let me explore that. I feel there's a need to nurture a little your physical body. You are doing it. I see that you're doing it, but I feel you need to do a little more and a little on a different space. I see lots of apples here. Not sure if you love them. Try to eat some. This nurturing of the physical, I don't, sometimes when we think about nurturing the physical, a lot of self-care pops up, but I don't feel it's related to that. I feel it's more related to physical nutrition and hydration. Okay. um, I feel the exercise bit is covered on your end, so it just feels like an extra message here to be mindful of nutrition and hydration. Okay, so let me clear this out and let's move forward with your reading. I'm actually seeing here your consciousness stage. You are at stage 3 of consciousness, which basically says you've learned a lot of spiritual things and now you are becoming the teacher. Okay, you're starting to become this teacher. You are in transition or very close to transitioning to the 4th consciousness stage, which is what I normally call the guru. Okay. But whenever there's a consciousness stage transition, there's a few key elements that happen. So right before you transition, there's a pause in life. There's a moment of reflection where the energy isn't really supporting a lot of changes, a lot of movement, because it's really, meant to give you time to think a little bit about how it was, to review what you've learned, what you would like to change, or what you would like to learn next. But I feel very deeply here for you that this stage, it's about figuring out who you are within this 3rd consciousness quadrant and who you want to be within the 4th consciousness quadrant, right? So who you are being as a teacher and who you will be as the guru, who not only has the knowledge but has embodied the knowledge and it's serving as an example to the world. Okay, I'm reading this and the message that I'm getting from your mind is, what? I don't identify with this. But what I see here is where your higher self is. I don't like the word pushing you towards, but basically that's what's happening. You have reached this level and it's here for you, whether you identify with it or not. It's going to come and it's not going to take that long, maybe a few months, but it's here for you. And life won't be moving too fast because you need to dig a little bit internally and figure out who you are as the teacher and who you will be as the guru. So, I'm a big fan of lists. Get pen and paper and write down some of the qualities of the teacher and the guru, and start building that personality or that identity, because I feel this is going to help you when you transition. Now, after you do this and right before you're about to transition, I feel there's going to be a moment where you might get very nostalgic or melancholic. It's almost like the sun is setting and you're watching it and you're just really saying goodbye to a part of your life and saying goodbye to a part of you. And no matter how excited you might be about the next stage of your life, there's always those feelings of grief that comes with letting go anything in life. Okay, so there's a bit of that as well coming forward. But then once you transition to the 4th quadrant, I feel like a breath of fresh air, like you are... The actual image I see is you standing up and saying, oh, okay, now this feels a lot better. And it just feels like you're energized and you are curious about what's next and how to do these things next. So it feels like fresh energy, new you, fresh beginning kind of thing here for you. Okay, so let me cleanse this. And let's continue with your reading. Okay, I feel there's a message here for you in terms of feminine energy and past life ancestral healing. So let's dive into that. So I see a woman. I feel this woman is part of your lineage. I feel from your mother's side. But this goes way back. So this woman, your mother probably never even met her. Um, and what I see is that she had a bit of a rough life, but she was very inquisitive, might be the or opinionated, or all of it together. It's almost like she saw something and she would break it down into smaller bits and analyze each one of the bits to see if it made sense in regards to what she believed. So any experience that would come her way, she would break it down in the puzzle into smaller pieces and understand, does this fit with me? Do I believe in this? Do I agree with this part of the puzzle? Okay, yes, let's move on to the next part of the puzzle. So she was like over analyzing everything, or at least that's how the world saw her. But I do feel she had great skills in this process and it was part of who she was, but it was a bit misunderstood by the world because everybody just saw her as overthinking, overanalyzing, but she had like awesome skills at figuring out where misalignments were, where roadblocks, limiting beliefs, all of these things were. But back then it wasn't phrased like that, it wasn't understood like that. Life was a lot more simpler and just focused on physical survival, and right now it's not. So I do feel you share these gifts with this woman because it's your DNA, right? You share the same DNA. So this might be part of the guru that you are starting to embody, or even the teacher that you are being right now and sharing with others. But I want you to start looking at the questions of your mind as a tool that is helpful to identify misalignments and to identify problems. The mind asks questions on a surface level. We all look at the mind as asking questions to try and find answers, but then it never finds the answers because it doesn't know them. However, if you look at it from the angle of, I'm asking this question, is it helping me understand if this is in alignment with me? No, then I need to ask questions that help me understand if this is in alignment with me. I need to ask questions that help me identify the beliefs that I have. Okay, so you start to train your mind and your gift to be applied in a way that's really helpful to you. And I think from what I see here later on, you're going to be able to develop a process where you teach people how to do this, or you just give them your own process and help them see how it's done, or you help them do it as coaching or something along those lines. But I feel you need to master this gift of yours, because right now your mind is just going, it's thinking and flowing without direction, and you have this gift playing on the background that keeps you asking a lot of questions and looking at the individual pieces of the puzzle, but you don't quite understand how that could be turned into an advantage point, or how could that be helpful to you. It's almost like you see your mind's questions as too many questions, or too overwhelming, or out of balance. And I just feel it's time. It really is the time for you to become friends with your mind and figure out how to turn all of these questions into an advantage point compared to the overwhelm that the mind can create with such questioning. Okay. All right, let me cleanse all of this. I do feel we need to dive a little into your spleen and into your heart. Let's start with your spleen. I see like construction workers inside of your spleen, so that tells me your spleen is going through a rebuild. The spleen is the center for intuition and for physical safety and survival. So this is totally in connection with what we've seen earlier of you needing to focus on your physical health. Okay, so your spleen is helping you there, but the sensation I have is like there's a big change happening. There's construction happening inside of your spleen, like it's being upgraded. and it will start speaking more to you, and it will start guiding you more in your journey. Okay, I don't feel this is something in particular you have to do anything about. This is more related to just being aware that it's happening, because it will start giving you more answers, more clear answers. It will be speaking a lot more to you. So when you start feeling that, just know it's because of this. And in your heart, I see you. I see you in front of your heart, and your heart's like this big gemstone, and you're turning your back on your heart, and you are doing your everyday stuff. I just feel like your heart is not really being. It is open, but let me try and find the words. It's not being shown to the world because you're not paying attention to it. You are talking to people, in this big stone is right behind you, but they're focused on you, on your eyes, on your hands. They're not seeing your heart. I feel you need to let people see your heart, see the love that you feel, talk about the love that you feel. And the heart is not just about love, it's about compassion, it's about intuition, it's about joy. I feel you need to let all of these things be part of your conversations. You need to let people see it within you. And the moment you do that, your heart will expand so much. And I feel others will connect with you at a deeper level, but also it's like they feel transformed by your presence, because the heart frequency you will be emitting will be so strong. It's like it heals them. From that one single conversation where you're just saying, oh, I love this, and I'm feeling this way, and all the things heart related. Okay, so be mindful of this when you're interacting with others too. Okay, I feel it's a great asset, and if you pay attention as you're doing it, you will see immediate results, an immediate shift in a person that you're talking to. From the moment the conversation starts to the moment that the conversation ends, you will see the results, and you will start to see the power that your heart has, and that the frequency of your heart has. Okay, I do feel you've been doing quite a bit of work around the heart space, but this is like next level kind of work. Let me cleanse all of this. Do feel you have an energy cord here on one of your feet, so let's have a look at that. Okay, this isn't very clear, but it just feels like an attachment to something from your past. But then again, it's not a recent past, it's like a very, very old past, and it's something about land. It's something about someone in your family having land or having a farm, and they were growing food in there, but the sensation I have is that like there was this big fire and it burned it all down, and they were left with nothing. And this fire was intentional. I'm not sure they knew of this, but it made them feel hopeless and desperate, because that was their income and that was their home. Like they lost everything. And I feel there might have been some mojo there behind whatever they did to set everything on fire. There might have been some magic or something involved in that sense. And it's almost like I see the piece of land where this happened burned, but it has a dark aura around it, a dark energy around it. And I feel this is part of your family's history, and there's a cord here linking you to this. This could be making all sorts of things in your present life right now, but overall it's just a very heavy frequency pulling you down instead of allowing you to lift up. So this is in direct conflict with the heart's vibration that you're trying to achieve, okay? And that's why it's showing up here. So I'm gonna cut this. Now I'm asking here for a final message from your higher self. And what I see is like pennies falling from the sky. So this totally speaks to me of a message of abundance. But it's more than abundance, right? Because abundance, it's more of all nature. It's about getting lots of everything. And here I see more specifically pennies. So and there's a big rainfall, so it gives me the sensation that there might be a financial inflow coming in real soon. I don't even see a message here of other types of abundance. I don't feel anything related to that. It literally feels about money. So I would watch out for that. It might take a little while because whatever I read in readings, I'm tuning into a space that is timeless. So it can take a week, a month, or a couple of months, or maybe a little bit more. But there's definitely something there coming up for you. So with that said, let us close our eyes and imagine we are in a space that is made of pure white light without any ceiling, floors, walls. Everything is just pure white light. And I'm standing there with you. I'm standing in front of you. And you're going to see that from my heart, there's a beam of white light that comes through and goes in the direction of your heart. This light enters in your chest and starts spreading out throughout all of your chest and all of your cells. It spreads throughout your neck, head, expands throughout your arms until it reaches your hands, continues to expand throughout your belly, hips, legs, all the way down your legs until it reaches your feet. But it doesn't stop there. It will continue to expand beyond your physical body, and it will start lighting up your aura. And as your aura starts to light up, the only thing that will make sense in your mind is, I am light. I am pure light. I am. This light will continue to expand beyond your aura, and it will have a positive impact in everyone around you according to their free will. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and put your hands together at the center of your chest to balance the energy. That was today's podcast, and if you would like to get a reading from me, don't forget to check out the links below. I will see you next week with another episode.